one of the key issues that Donald Trump's been focusing on is how to draw in the voters for its inflation. It's a huge topic of conversation here at Davos, and one of which the vice chair of BlackRock says when it comes to inflation, got to be careful. As the vice chair says, it could be sticking around.
I think what's going to happen is inflation isn't going to disappear as much as people think right now. So, we have falling inflation that's mostly goods inflation. Wages, service inflation is still high. I think what we're going to find is the central banks will not be able to kind of completely take the eyes off the ball. And so those are the two pieces that...
You've just sort of said the world is flat in a sense of, are they going to push inflation all the way down to target?
I think they're going to find that that's going to be a little harder than the market thinks right now. So we're not going to see as much of a kind of interest rate cuts coming through as many now hope, as a sort of panacea to all problems. We had decades, whenever there was a problem, central banks could cut rates. I think that's going to be much more difficult in this new world.
It comes really back to this idea of their inflation cutting credentials, the integrity, which to some extent was lost, letting inflation get so out of the bag. Pushing it below, down to 2%, is that important?
Yes, because if you lose that anchor, especially, remember, we're in a world where debt levels are very high.
What's the difference between 2 and 3%?
It's a slippery slope. Once you start, why not 4? So I think you have to have that anchor, particularly, remember, we are coming out of these crises with huge debt levels. I mean, the way the government spending has increased, if you look at the US in the last year, tremendous increase in fiscal spending. So we need an anchor, and that anchor has to be price stability.
The Iowa caucuses are today. Christine Lagarde said that Donald Trump, re-election Donald Trump, would pose a threat to Europe because of difference of standards and values. Do you agree?
Yes, but I would say it may also be the wake-up call that Europe needs. And I think Christine would probably agree with that, in a sense, it's perhaps the jolt that kind of wakes up Europe to say we have to find a way to become more sovereign, in a sense, and less dependent, whether it's on China or indeed on the United States. So I think it can be both. It is a threat, it is something that worries people to a great extent, but it can also be perhaps a wake-up call.